So The Hunt is about a group of people. They wake up in the middle of the woods. They don't know why they're there. They start getting hunted. It's a very simple premise. The movie starts out very quickly. Without spoiling anything, there's a lot happening in the opening minutes. It starts out very fast and it does not let up. It is very hyper violent. It's very gory. Honestly, I had a pretty good time with this movie. It's fun to watch. I know that sounds messed up, but so the movie doesn't take itself too seriously, and I think that definitely works to its advantage for the most part. It's also very, very in your face political, and this movie was supposed to come out at the end of last year, I believe, and it actually got pulled from theaters because there was this major controversy surrounding it. And having watched it, I honestly genuinely don't know why people were so upset. I feel like a lot of the time with movies that have some politics in them, they usually stray to targeting one side and appealing to the other. This movie goes after everybody. Everybody gets made fun of. As someone who isn't super into politics, I found it to be kind of funny. The movie has a lot of dark humor. And if you're not a fan of dark humor, you're probably not going to like it very much. Dark humor when it comes to its violence and also when it comes to the social satire. Everybody in the movie is pretty much a walking stereotype, and it's very over the top, and they don't feel like actual people, which is kind of a negative because you don't really believe that anybody's actually real, and you're kind of rooting for them to just die in horrible fashion. The only person who I liked was the main girl. Betty Gilpin is her name, and she rocks. She's the only person I found likable. She was a badass, and she was very likable as a action hero. I think your ability to enjoy this movie rests upon how easily you get offended. If your beliefs are very strong one way or another, and you don't like when people make fun of that, this movie will probably make you mad or trigger you or whatever. But if you can just sit back and kind of take it for what it is, then I think you'll have a good time with it. I could definitely see people watching this and getting very offended. But this movie, it's political without trying to have a message. It's just kind of making fun of everybody. And if that sounds like something that you would enjoy watching, then you're probably going to have fun with this. But that's definitely not the point of the movie. The point of the movie is it's a very bloody action movie. There's a high body count and there's some dark humor involved. The politics are important, but they're not what's keeping you entertained, if that makes sense. The first half of the movie, there's actually some pretty good intrigue because you don't really know what's going on or why these people are there. And it was very unpredictable. You're following around all these people and you genuinely don't know if they're gonna make it out of this scene or not. Don't get me wrong, this movie's absolutely ridiculous. It's very over the top and pretty goofy at times, honestly. But that's a lot of the reason why I was having so much fun with it. And that's because it's not taking itself very seriously at all. There's a couple points where the politics, they try and get a little deep, and I was like, that doesn't really fit with the rest of the stuff you were going for. The tone's pretty even throughout, and then there's a couple points where it kind of reaches a little bit too far. And like I said, you don't care about really anybody in this movie except for the main girl, who's awesome. The action's also pretty good. There's a couple of hand-to-hand fights that are really well handled. There's a fight towards the end of the movie that's actually really kick-ass and brutal. It was very well choreographed, and I dug it. It's very quick. It's about 90 minutes. It doesn't overstay its welcome. It's very fast paced. There's always something happening. It was never boring. And I thought that was a huge plus. I wasn't expecting a lot of this movie. I got a lot more enjoyment out of it than I thought I would. But yeah, it's really not that deep. If you're just looking for a fun action movie that has some laughs in it, I think this is for you. And as far as the political stuff goes, I really admire the fact that they went after everybody. It didn't pick a side. And it didn't favor one side over the other. Everybody got their jokes in. If you can find the humor in some of the more extreme aspects of different parties, then I think you'll get some laughs out of it too. But yeah, this is another example of I don't understand why there was so much controversy around it. The movie's actually a lot of fun. As far as the score goes, I think I'm gonna go 73 out of 100. It's a pretty entertaining ride. So what did you think of The Hunt? Are you going to see it? Did you see it? Did you like it? Comment below, let me know. As always, like and subscribe, and yeah.